Hello, everybody, and welcome to this edition of Transcendent. Transcendent is the weekly Facebook Live broadcast of San Antonio in Black, White, and Brown, also known as SABWB. SABWB is a leadership space, and it is also a DBA to Outpouring Missions International. Outpouring Missions International. We have a conference coming up this summer that I will be kind of heavily promoting as we move further and further into the year. Some great stuff happening at OMI. But thank you for joining me tonight because we have another very important issue that you need to take some action on tonight while we're online. Something has happened in Texas that has never happened before in the state and has never happened anywhere else in any other state to this degree. You are a part of a historical event. The state government has set aside $1 billion, and dedicated that $1 billion to fund Texas education freedom accounts. You will hear me say tonight many times TEFA. You will see it in our presentation as well. TEFA, TEFA, is Texas Education Freedom Accounts. What that freedom account is actually your tax money that you as a parent now have the authority to choose where and how you want your children to be educated. Up until the passing of school choice, and that legislation was in the works for decades. I know because my wife and I and several others that I'm aware of here in our city, a team of folks, Cindy Dominguez and John Melendez and a whole bunch of people, Alan Parker's in it from the very start, to get this legislation passed. And in the last legislative session, it finally did that. It finally passed. And $1 billion is set aside for the education of 100,000 children at the parent's choice. In fact, the whole part of the push was called parent empowerment. It's empowering you, the parent, to determine where and how you want your child to be educated, instead of it being restricted to the district in which you live. That's what it was before. You lived in a certain zip code, you went to the school in that district. It made good logistical sense, but it also set up an opportunity for different things to happen at different levels in different public schools. That is, some will flourish and some will fail. And in San Antonio, there are more F schools, failing schools, than there are in any other portion of the state of Texas. Yes, more in the San Antonio area are failing schools than anywhere else in Texas. So we have to do something about it. School choice legislation is a big piece of making change in the educational arena. It allows you, the parent, to choose where and how you want your children to be educated. And when I say where, you can direct your tax money to the school that's in your district. You can direct your tax money to a school that's not in your district. You can direct your tax money to a school that is a charter school, it's a public school, but a charter school, or a magnet school, or you can direct it toward a private school. You can direct homeschooling. The window of opportunity opened in a big way for you parents to move into the having a strong voice in where and how your children will be educated. And tonight's show, because we're really only 7 days out, you see in the title, 7 days to change your child's life. If you don't take action within the next 7 days, and I'll tell you in concrete numbers in just a moment why you should and why many have, if you don't take concrete action within the next 7 days, and some of you will be able to follow on with us tonight. And by the time this broadcast is over, you will have exercised your right as a parent to determine where and how your child is going to be educated. It will happen if you follow along with us tonight. And by the time our broadcast is ended, you will have made that choice for yourselves and for your children. and it certainly won't be a choice that you will regret. It will change your child's life, as said in the title, for the rest of their lives. And because their lives are so powerfully impacted by the decision that you're about to make, it's going to change your life too. This is a very critical moment that we're right now in. And so let me just do some housekeeping stuff, and then we're going to get right into it. So uh, SABWB is a DBA, or doing business as, that is under the umbrella of Outpouring Missions International, OMI. And that is an organization whose focus and goal it is to train up a generation of people in the ways of the kingdom with such impact that they become the emerging leaders, both in the civic arena, in the educational arena, and sports and academics, or wherever they may be called, that they are leading with excellence in that field, and leading from a biblical worldview point of view. So OMI is the parent ministry for Youth Empowerment School. Youth Empowerment School is a K through 12 school that has been given birth to because of the legislation that was recently passed. It's not our first time in the school environment, however. The church that I pastored for 23 years, Faith Outreach Center International, uh, we had a school almost from our inception. The church started in 81. The school began in 1983, and we ran that school for 15 years. One of the saddest things we've had to do over the years of ministry was to close the doors of the school because it was a private tuition-based school. So parents parents had to pay their property taxes and private school tuition, and it became too much for some of them, and they could no longer forbear, and the church didn't have the wherewithal to underwrite those costs, and so we regrettably had to close our school. But because I was a youth pastor at the church at the time, I understand this threefold cord principle that is talked about in the book of Ecclesiastes. Uh, this threefold cord principle applies when the church, the school, and the family are on the same page. When the church and the school and the family are a threefold cord, it creates an environment of solidarity, and it creates an environment that fosters the development of leadership and camaraderie, both in the children and in their parents. But we had to close the school, so it fractured that cord began to unravel, and the students went into a public setting, or some went to other settings, and the things that they were cohesively learning and growing in began to be attacked. Now, I'll tell you this: when your faith is genuine, uh, when your faith has been checked, and you're walking in the truth, and no matter what comes against it, Jesus said it like this: "You can do nothing against the truth." In other words, you can't turn the truth into something else. The truth is the truth. But when a mind is undeveloped around the tenets of the truth, and they receive an influx of new information with so-called provable data, their faith begins to be rocked, and they can no longer square what they're learning in a secular educational environment with what they've learned in a spiritual environment, and what their home may or may not be reinforcing. I say may or may not because some of those children came out of a Christian home. Others of them, their parents were not Christians themselves, but they knew the value of putting their children in such an environment. So so they did. And as a result, the school were able to minister to the child. But now then the school closed, and the children are left uh, being retrained in a secular world, and the families, if they're not strong, uh, is left contending with what now the conflict that the child is going through. But when those three chords are together, when there's a school and a family and a church, and they're all working together, oh, it creates some strength, man. There are some young people that I still deal with on a regular basis that were in that threefold cord kind of environment to the best of their spiritual knowledge to God. And then there are some that have been totally decimated by what has happened. But the clock has ticked around again, and here we are. Now school choice has passed in Texas, and you as a parent, you get to decide where and how to be educated. The where is already solved for you. It's Youth Empowerment School. The how is also already solved for you because it is a classical Christian educational model, a classical Christian educational model. Now, we're not a Christian school because we have chapel once a week. We're a Christian school because every lesson in every subject is taught from a biblical worldview standpoint, that we look through the lens of Scripture at English, look through the lens of Scripture at math, at science, at all of it, to be able to square what we're learning and discovering in the world of sense knowledge gained by our senses and observations with revelation knowledge, which we understand by the Spirit of God. Those two things, those two things often are not in conflict with each other, but they can be taught in such a way to where sense knowledge becomes secular knowledge. When sense knowledge becomes secular knowledge, it's a knowledge that disregards God and His Word. Secular knowledge disregards God and His Word and often seeks to disprove the premises laid in the environment of faith. So now you have a tug of war. They're learning secular knowledge at school and revelation knowledge at home, and hopefully revelation knowledge at the church, and they feel like a cord being tugged in a tug of war. It's not fair to them. I have such a heart for young people because I know what it's like. I know what it's like to be under that pressure, and I also know what it's like when they get it early. If they get a hold of God early and they begin to walk in the things of God early in life, they blossom. You when you're dealing with them in those years, you get to see it. You get to see them awaken to their own potential, and they start walking in the power and the authority and the beauty of what God has called them to. So this is what has given birth to Youth Empowerment School. So we're K through 12. We're only one of a handful of schools in the entire nation that will be artificial intelligence assisted. Now don't let that scare you. Some things about artificial intelligence, of course, can be used in a very negative sense. But Youth Empowerment School is a tuition-free private Christian education where artificial intelligence is used to assist the teacher in assisting the child. Every child will have an individual learning uh, program, an IEP. You're familiar with that, but used differently in the YES context. That means that there's an assessment test that's done early in the child's entry into YES to figure out where they are on certain subject matter and what they need to do to catch up to current grade level, or what they need to do to maintain at grade level, or what they need to do because they have the acumen to move ahead of their grade level to be able to do that. Artificial intelligence allows us to make those kind of individual adjustments while they're all sitting in the same classroom. It is a learning experience. It's being built, it's being formed. As you and I are talking, a team meets every Monday, gathering around and putting our minds together to formulate the kind of school that provides this tailored educational experience and a tailored spiritual experience and a tailored physical experience, because their bodies also have to move, their minds, their sense of morality, all of that, what they eat, all of it is being totally considered for the betterment of your child, and you need to place your child in Youth Empowerment School. So let me tell you what has happened so far. This is If you hear anything that I'm saying to you, please hear what I'm about to say to you. If you remember anything I've said or am going to say, please remember this portion of it. The number set aside that for that $1 billion to service was 100,000 students. I got a text today that as of today, there's 163,500 students. 163,500 students. That's 63,500 more than expected, and we have not yet reached our deadline. It's my prayer that that number will be amended by hundreds because you and I are having this conversation tonight. It is my prayer that that number will be amended, increased by hundreds because you will take action. And when I unpack the rest of this information for you, you'll understand why you need to take action now. There's 100,000 set aside for that $1 billion. 163,500 have already signed up, and the number is growing. Well, you may say to yourself, well, if they've set aside 100 for 100,000 and there's 163,500, isn't it too late already? No, it's not too late because the applicants are serviced on a tier basis, tiers 1 through 7, with the tier 1 being all the tiers being based on a couple of things, being based on the educational need of the child and being based on the income level of the family, targeting the lowest income people first, providing low income families with the same opportunity that many families are already experiencing because they're making enough income to send their children to a private educational institution. They're already expressing choice in that way. Their economics, their economic standing gives them the power to go ahead and do that. They've already put their children in the private schools. And let me just tell you this. When we homeschooled our children, we raised four. Our youngest is 39, he'll be 40 this year. When we raised them, we didn't want the school system and what was being taught in the school system, even in those days, 30 years ago, 35 years ago, to be the major portions of that shape the minds of our children. So we homeschooled our children. They began each day with a confession. I prayed about that confession. I wrote that confession down. The children learned that confession. They said it every morning. I am an excellent student. God gave me an excellent brain. I'm able to obtain, retain, store, recall, and extrapolate information given to me. My education is important to me. I'll need it now, both now and in the future. I'm destined by God to be a force for God to change in my generation. Today, my mom would challenge me, my dad would challenge me, but moreover, I would challenge myself. They said that they made that, and that confession went on to its end. And they said that every morning, getting the sense into them that they have a personal responsibility to build upon. We didn't want the public system to do that. And I know afford to send them to private Christian school. So we took the next best route for us was to homeschool them, which we did for the 10, basically 10 out of the 12 years of their academic lives. We took little breaks with them here and there, but the last 2 years, the 11th and 12th grade year, we sent them to a private Christian school only because there was a scholarship program that was available. Otherwise, we wouldn't have been able to do that either. I'm saying to you, I know where you are. You want better for your children. And many of you are willing to sacrifice what needs to happen to see your child happen, something better happen for them. Now, my oldest son he's going to shake the world. He's returned from California doing kind of a closed door power thing with some organizations that are getting the gospel to all the nations of the earth, and he participated there in a very key way. My oldest daughter is the producer of this program, and her degree is in radio, television, and film. But she's self-taught in this area of automation and all that stuff, entrepreneurs. You built a course from the ground up on the internet. She built it. My youngest daughter is about in another year or so, she's going to be a doctor. She'll be the first doctor in the household. My youngest son he's now starting to turn his attention toward trucking and after having been in construction for a very long time. I know where you are. I know where you are. I know you want better for your children. And I'm afraid that there is an opportunity that has been laid before you that you have not taken advantage of. And I want to help you do that. I want to help you we're going to go through the video step by step tonight. So by the time we finish our time together tonight, you will have signed your children up for this program, because while there is 100,000 allotted and there's 163,500 that's already signed up for it, and that number is growing, they are serviced on a tier basis, meaning that the educational needs of the child and the economic standing of the family, the lower they are on that economic standing, the higher their priority to be chosen to be a part of this first allotment. Now, a waiting is great because when the legislative session comes back in 2027, the legislators will know, hey, parents want a choice. So they will have to allocate more money out of the state's budget to the Texas Education Freedom Accounts. And this will make the educational arena much more competitive than it has been in the past. When you go to the school in your district, and that's what you're bound to do, the school has no incentive to be creative. It has no incentive to reach in unique and stimulating ways to your sons and daughters. They're just there because that's where they're supposed to go. And if they don't go, then there's truancy situations that they get involved in. The parent, you are deemed for them not showing up, and yet that's what's happening in many places. Schools are getting another name now, and the name is not educational centers. The name is dropout centers, because dropouts are happening more in the ninth and 10th grade than there are graduations coming out of the 12th grade. So they're calling them dropout centers. But an opportunity is laid at your feet, parents, for you to make a different choice for your child. And I'm afraid that too many of you, and as I lay the numbers out tonight, too many of you are letting this pass without you taking the opportunity to do it. But we knew that, and therefore we have intentionally put this program and the service that you're going to see us provide on this program has made it available to you 24/7, so you can take advantage of what is happening here, particularly if you're in that lower income bracket. And when I say lower income, you know, I think it's don't quote me here on these numbers because they're not infallibly in my head. But I think that the lowest tier is any two-parent family making $59,200 a year or less. That's tier one. Those are the ones that are serviced first. They're making $59,200 or less for two-parent income, a two-parent household, maybe just one of the parents that are working. The next one up, tier two, is 79,000 plus dollars annually for a two-parent income. You are and under that 79,000 and under that, you're in tier two. So those two tiers are the first tiers that this program is designed for. But when I tell you the numbers here in a minute, you're going to see that when you don't take advantage of it, someone else will and should. When you don't take advantage of what is offered you, somebody else is going to take advantage of it. And they should take advantage of it. So those are the first two tiers, 59 plus thousand annual income. And if your child has special needs, you're even more higher on the select list. If there's a special education requirement, or you're even higher on that list to be selected. Then it gets out like 112,000, I think, or less is the third tier, and then fourth tier goes on up from there. Most of you for whom the program is chiefly designed, you're not going to be beyond tier 3. But here's what has happened. Of the 63,500 people that have signed up, 19,422 of them are from San Antonio. Of the people who have signed up for the Texas Education Freedom Accounts, TEFA, 19,422 of them are from the San Antonio area. Now, did you hear what I just said? 19,422 San Antonians have signed up for the Texas Education Freedom Accounts. But here is the kicker. And here is why you and I need to walk through what Isaac is going to take us through here in a moment. This is why. Because of that 19,422 in San Antonio that has signed up for the Texas Education Freedom Accounts, 76% of them, that is 3/4 of them, are not in public schools. Of that 19,422 that signed up for this program in San Antonio, 7 out of 10 of them are not in public schools. If they're not in public schools, where are they? They're already in a paid or private school setting or homeschooled. So you have people who already have their children in private school or paid school or are homeschooling. They're already, these 76%, they already have made the decision that we want something better, and they've taken the initiative to either they're economically able to put their children in a private setting, or they were not, like we weren't, and they're homeschooling them. And yet, that's 76% of the 19,422. Let's just bump it up to 20,000 for math's sakes. Let's say there's 20,000 in San Antonio. We're really close to that, 19,422. If 3/4 of them are already signed up, are already in schools, they're not in the public system. That's what I said. 3/4 of those who signed up for TEFA are not in the public system currently, which means they're already in a private school setting, they're already in a parochial school setting, or they're already homeschooled. They're already there. So that's 15,000 of them. That means there's another 5,000 that have signed up that perhaps don't have a school. They just want better. They're not in a paid or private school setting. They just want better for their children. That group will be serviced first. That 5,000, if they are as I had defined them, will be serviced before those that are already in a private setting and those who are already able to afford private school education for their children. But if you don't act, if you don't say, I'm going to take some action and put my child's name in that list because I'm in that tier 1 or 2, my name is bumped up in the list because of my circumstances. It's for you. But if you don't do it, the $1 billion is there. Somebody is going to take it up. And if I were a parent that could afford a private school education for my children, and this program became available, I would put my name in the hat so that if those for whom it is chiefly designed will not take advantage of it, then it will relieve me of some of the financial burden I have to provide private education for my children. If those for whom it is not chiefly, for those for whom it is chiefly designed will not take advantage, then I'm going to take advantage. Don't let that be said about you. Don't let it be said about you. So I'm going to go now to, as I said, by the time we finish tonight, you can change all of what I'm saying. There is a link in the description. There's a link in the description. When you hit that link in the description, it's going to take you here. You'll see it come up on the screen here momentarily. When you hit that link in the description, it's going to take you here. It's going to take you here.
1 second. There you go.
Yeah, it's going to take you right there. And when you see that, just where it says yes, walk me through it. Now, I want to just give you a few minutes. Before we move on from that, I want you to go to your own computer, your own phone, and or that link in the description, the link in the description of this broadcast, it will take you right here. But if you're at a laptop or something and you go to www.youthempowermentschool.live and hit the banner that says reserve my spot. But if you hit the link in the description, this is what you should be seeing right now on your device. When you see that banner that says, yes, walk me through. And right above it, it says just 15 minutes. When you hit that, just walk me through, this is what's going to come up for you. You hit that red banner, this is what's going to come up. Put in your name, your email address, your phone number, and then click the button that says watch training now. When you do, it'll take you right to this page. I want to slow down with you because many of you may be just like me and you are not tech savvy. And sometimes the tech world kind of freaks you out and you need a slower pace. And 15 minutes is for slow folks. It's for folks like me. Some of you bam, 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 bam. Your minds work so quick in this technology thing, you're just flying everywhere. But when you get here, Isaac, the icon that you see up in the upper right hand corner, will take you through that. He's saying just text in, type in Texas Education Freedom Accounts, and but when you do that, go down to that blue banner. You see that blue banner that says link to the application? Click that blue banner. And when you do, it takes you to this page. This is what you're seeing. Now, why am I walking through this with you? Because 19,422 people in San Antonio have already signed up for this, and 15,000 of them are already in either in a private school or homeschool. And you're the one for whom the program is chiefly designed. I'm not hating on them. I'm thankful for them. I'm really thankful for them because they're proving that they want choice in the educational environment. But it's chiefly designed for you to be able to afford the kind of education for your child that you always wanted to have, but didn't think you could afford. Now you know you can. And when we walk through this tonight, you'll be able to say, yes, my child is in there. Once you go down, you see that apply now button? Click that button. Click apply now. And this is the page that you'll see. You're registering. It's gonna look, yes. We're talking about registering you for the Texas Educational Freedom Account tonight. Before you get off this air, that number should be climbing. That 19,422 in San Antonio, that number should be climbing. I pray that it's climbing by hundreds, especially those of you who are in the tier 1 and tier 2 area. If you're making less than 59,000 plus a year in your household for tier 1, and you're making less than 70 something thousand, 79,000, I think, in tier 2. If you're making less that or less than that, this program is chiefly designed for you people. Before I move on to this application piece, poverty is a mindset. The poverty mindset says all of these advantages are for someone else. They're not for me. And when someone else who had the same opportunity you've had takes advantage of it, then you turn and say, see, they made it for the rich. Shut up. Just shut up. No, take advantage. Take advantage of your advantage right now. Do it now. Do it now. Go to this registration page, put in your name, your first name, your last name, your email address, and a password. And of course, then you validate your password. And then go to the green bar on that screen. You see the green bar down near the bottom? Down near the bottom, there's a green bar down there. Click that bar, that green bar. And it takes you to the dashboard. Now, everything that you're doing right now, see, if you're following along with us, if you're actively involved here, by the time we finish tonight, you will be at the point where you can start uploading some documents, and your child will be among the first considered. You may be the last getting in there, but among the first considered. So read that stuff. Read that through. Texas Education.
Go to the video.
There's a video that's explaining every step of it to you. And so follow the prompts on the video. And by the time you have finished following those prompts,
we're playing the video live.
The video is being played live now. You can follow along with that video. And at the end of it, be registered.
Cut to the video.
You'll be registered at the end. So let's follow along. Let's just listen. Let's listen to Isaac break it down.
Hello, I'm Isaac Hurt, and on behalf of Bishop Charles Flowers and the Youth Empowerment School, we just wanted to take a few minutes out of your day and show you what the Texas Education Freedom Accounts website looks like, how you can get in there, how you can navigate it, and hopefully just answer any questions that you may have. And we'll just show you how quick and easy the process can be. Just make sure you have all your documentation prior to getting on here. But I have Google pulled up, and I think the easiest way to get in here is to type in Texas Education Freedom Accounts, and you can see that right here. And just type in enter, and it'll pull up. You can see a brief AI overview, and then if you scroll down, you can see that actual Texas Education Freedom Accounts website. You can also type in educationfreedom.texas.gov, whichever way is easier for you. But I'm going to click on here. And it's going to take you to the actual website. You can go through and read through that, but you're going to scroll down and you want to get to apply now. I've already went into the system, but I want to show you what the next screen will look like when you click apply now. So once you do that, you're going to pull, it's going to come to the registration screen. So you're going to put your first name, last name, provide an email address, create a password, confirm that password, and then at the very bottom, or towards the bottom, you see the green create account. So you'll click on that. It'll create your account, and then you can see at the very bottom, you'll sign in. So that'd be the next step that you do. And then once you sign in, the next screen that you will see is this. And this will be where you will submit the application. So you can see Odyssey, Texas Education Freedom accounts. I just want to quickly show you. Top right hand corner, you'll see English here. If you prefer, you can also click on the Spanish, whichever one you prefer. I have English here. We're going to go through the dashboard. You can also click on account information. It will just show you your profile setting, and then you can log out if you need to. But I need to bring you through the dashboard. So we're going to start the application. Scroll down. You can see start application. So we'll click on that. Once you do that, keep in mind this is the parent information. So whoever's going to register the child, this will be all the information. Here you can already see has my first name, Isaac. If you have a middle name, go ahead and put that in there. Then you can see my last name, Hurt. My email address is in here, ihurte327@gmail.com. That is my actual email address. So if you have any questions, concerns, feel free to email me at that email address. Next, phone number 210-638-9358. Again, this is my actual phone number. So if you have questions, concerns, anything that I can assist you with, feel free to reach out and call me or text me at that number. Next, we'll click on the preferred language. Two options, English or Spanish. I clicked on English there. Next thing you know, the next thing is either Social Security number or the individual tax identification number. I'm going to use Social Security number. So parent ID number 449123456. Put your actual Social Security number in there. And then as you scroll down a little further, it's going to be the parent address. And it's going to give you a spot here where you can start typing that in. So I'm going to type in 338 North Main Avenue. And then you can see that right here. If you have an apartment or suite, just go ahead and put it in there. And then the city, state, zip code will populate. Next, you're going to do the household size. So this is based off your 2024 or 2025 tax returns. This is going to include yourself, if you have a spouse, and then any children that you have, any dependents listed on your tax form. So just make sure you also include yourself along with your child. So here, I'm going to put 2. I'm going to put me and 1 dependent, 1 child. Next, we have your identification. So you can choose driver's license or state ID. If you don't have it, you can also check that. And then it'll have to be a different way that they can verify your information. But I'm going to choose driver's license. Just for this video, I'm just going to put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We'll put your actual driver's license number in there. And they have a picture of a driver's license down here, and it can just shows you where your driver's license number is. Make sure you put your expiration date of your ID. and make sure it's not your issue date or your birth date. Make sure the year is the actual expiration year. And then lastly, at the very bottom, if you're part of the United States Armed Forces and you're on orders to Texas, you can click on here and put yes. But for our example today, we're going to put no. And then next thing I'm going to do is hit save and next. As we continue on, if we ever have to go to the previous screen after we leave this, we can always come back. So we're going to click on that. Next thing you know, we're going to see the child information. So keep in mind, we're going to start with the first dependent and then move on to the next one. And then at the bottom, you'll see a spot where you can add additional dependents. So I'm going to put in Kennedy, middle name, Michael, same last name as me, Hurt. And then if they have a suffix, you can always put that in there. Next, we're going to put in the 2026-2027 academic year. So for the upcoming season, what grade will your child be going in? Mine will be going into the 6th grade. And then I will put his birthday here, July 19th, born in 2015. Scroll down a little further, put in your child's social security number. So again, we're just going to put one in here, 449-52-7784. Make sure you're putting in the correct information there. Here you'll see the boxes checked, same address as the parent. Next, it will ask for the sex of your child, male or female. I have male typed in right here. Next, we'll do the race or the ethnicity of the child. You have 6 options here, so choose whichever one fits you best. I'm going to click on here, Black. Next, we're going to get some school information. The school district that your child is currently zoned in. So maybe you're coming from a different area. You can put that area where your child went to school. But for the most part, it's going to be in the San Antonio district. So I'm going to type in San Antonio. And then you can see ISD. You can also type in the 015907, whichever is easier for you. So I'll click on that. And then if they're currently zoned in a different area, just find that school. If you need any assistance, you also got this up here. What public school campus is your child currently zoned for? So here I'm just going to pick the school that my child is currently in. So I'm going to choose Collins Garden Elementary School, but put the information for the school where your children or your child is located at. Special education, you can type in yes or check yes or no. If you're currently working on that, you can click on in progress. For this example, I'm going to click no. Education setting for the 2026-2027 year. You have 2 options, private school, home school, other. But for this example, I'm going to click on private school. School enrollment history. Did your child attend a Texas public school or open enrollment charter school in 2024? to the 2025 year. So we either check yes or no. I'm going to check no for that. And as you scroll down, if you have another child that you want to add, you'll click on Add Student, and you'll see child number 2 information. And just like we did for child number 1, you scroll through and put all the information down here. I'm not going to add any other children, so I'm just going to delete this. And then I'm going to save and next. Again, if I have to go back, I can go to the previous screen, but I think everything is good, so I'm going to click Save and Next. Again, it's going to ask me, do you need to add any other children? If I do, I can go back. For this example, I'm going to say, yes, I'm good. I've added everybody. And next thing you know, we're going to pull up the screen. It's going to be parent acknowledgements. So you're going to have to just go through, check each one of these boxes, saying you affirm, you understand, you agree. So just go through each one of them, reading them. Make sure everything is good, checking each box. Make sure you scroll all the way down. Quite a few boxes that we have to check here. So make sure you get each and every one of them. And all right, and the last one, just put right there. At the very bottom, by typing my name, I am signing this agreement. Enter your full name, first and last. So I'm going to put in Isaac Hurt. You'll see the date down here, and you'll click Save and Next. I'm not going to submit this information, so I'm going to stop right there. And hopefully I helped you out. Hopefully I provided some value for you. And if you have any questions, again, I put my name, I put my number, I put my email address. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. Hopefully you have a blessed day.
So if you did that, when you hit that last button, there's a place for you to upload some documents that takes you into the final stage of enlisting in the Texas Education Freedom Accounts. Now, the video you just saw, how simple and easy it is available to you 24/7. Just go to www.youthempowermentschool.live and click on Reserve My Spot. It'll give us some information that we need to stay in contact with you, because there's certain deadlines that will be met going through the summer. A certain date, by the time you reach that date, you will have need to have chosen a school. Youth Empowerment School should be your choice. Then the school has to validate actually how many students we have with them, with the with the uh, with the state ordinance comptroller's office, and then allotments start to be made. You start funding your child's Christian education. So any time, night or day, any family member, those of you who have wanted more in terms of education for your children, you now have it. You just have to take advantage of your advantage. You got to take advantage of your advantage. God said to the children of Israel in the book of Deuteronomy, is what he said to them. All the land, and he gave them boundary lines for it. He says, have I given you? Have I given you? He said to the children of Israel, I have given you that. Now, there's certain premises that we have to understand in order to validate that statement. In order for God to say, I have given it to you, it has to be his. You cannot give something to someone that is not theirs, that's not yours to give, I should say. You can't give what is not yours to give. So when God said to the children of Israel, I've given you all of that, the implication is that he owns it. But an interesting fact is that the land that he said he had given them was already occupied by someone else. The land that God said, I've given you that, was already occupied by someone else. And then he told them in Deuteronomy, he said, go possess your possessions. They're your possessions, but you have to go possess it. It's yours. I've given it to you. Now, so does God have a right to say I've given it in the example that we're using? Surely. For the scripture declares that the earth is the Lord's, the fullness of the people and they that dwell therein. The whole thing is his. And because he is the owner, he gets to decide who's going to occupy parcels of it. He's already decided the nations. Acts chapter 17. So he's saying to you now, mom and dad, I've already given this opportunity to you. Go take it. Go possess your possessions. It's yours. It belongs to you. It's laid out for you. The program has been built primarily and chiefly for you. Go take your possession. And we have made it super easy for you to do that by you just following along, clicking that walk me through button right there that you see on the screen right now, and walk you through the process to get you down to the documents. And then you become, if you're tier 1 and tier 2, while you're coming in last, maybe because you just didn't know or refused to act promptly, you should be serviced first. The last shall be first. So take advantage of what's laid before you. And before March 17th, that's a week from today, actually, a week from today is the last day that this is open for this time. You'll have to wait till the next legislative session till it reopens again, and then you'll have to apply. But if you're here now and you are not serviced in that early tier or in that first round, your name rolls over into the second. And you're considered automatically in that second allotment. You don't have to re-register. So please, before the 17th of March is done, make sure that you have let the state know, as a parent, I want to determine for myself how and where my child will be educated. And at the time appointed, this is important that we get your information, because prior to the appointment, when everything is squared away with Youth Empowerment School and we're in that group, we'll let you know by communication. Now you can put on, when the information is released as to where you want to put your child, you can put Youth Empowerment School there. There's no place to do it right now because no one is choosing schools at this point. Clearly, 15 of the 20,000 here in San Antonio has already chosen their school. They're already in it. They're already either homeschooled or in a paid or private school setting. But there's 5,000 of you who have not yet chosen. Let Youth Empowerment School be your choice, at least for 500 of you, a tenth, a tithe of you. All right. I wanted to do that for you. You're going to see every day for the next 7 days, probably a couple times a day. You're going to see me encouraging you to visit this website and to follow that video. All right, thanks for hanging with me tonight. God bless you. Love you big. See you soon. Bye-bye now.